Well, isn't this convenient? Miss Kamala Harris strutted on down to the border yesterday in Arizona about 1 month before the election to do a quick 20-minute photo op. Now, mind you, Kamala Harris was put in charge of the immigration crisis back in 2021, but it's been about 1,200 days since she's visited. This woman oversaw the worst immigration crisis in American history, but decided a month before the election to throw on her best $62,000 necklace, a wrinkled jacket, and to go get her picture taken next to the rusted wall and some barbed wire. Now, I don't even know if we can give Kamala Harris any credit for going to the border yesterday. For all we know, she thought she was going to on the border to get all-you-can-drink margaritas. In almost every single poll, Donald Trump is doing much better on immigration, so it's no surprise Kamala made a little trip down there. But you have to remember, back in 2019, Kamala Harris called the border wall Donald Trump's medieval vanity project. Now, in the 11th hour, Kamala says she wants to stop the flow of drugs into the country, but I have a hard time taking her seriously because her purse probably looks like a CVS pharmacy. Now, the Border Patrol Union released a statement last night saying Vice President Harris has ignored the border problem she created for over 3 years. She goes down there for 20 minutes for a photo op and decides to repeat some of the things the NPBC has said before. But again, where has she been the last 3.5 years? The fact that Kamala Harris has decided there is now a crisis at the border reminds me of that show, I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant. She's like, you know what? I had no idea this was going on down here. If doing the least was a person, it would be Kamala Harris. She was probably down at the border like, can I get a spicy margarita with salt on the rim? Oh, is that the wall? And you guys know by now that Kamala Harris, she's a chameleon for different voices, different cultures, different accents. By the time she got back to Washington, D.C., she was probably like, hola, enchilada, cilantro, despacito, magar... Now, back in April, I went down to the border in Arizona myself. Ignore my Zoolander face, the sun was in my eyes. But while I was down there, I met with people from local food banks, the hospital, nonprofits. They despise the Biden-Harris administration. On day one, the Biden-Harris administration rolled back most of the executive measures that were keeping the immigration crisis under control. So a lot of these border communities that are strained, they blame Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris acting like she cares about the border now is like Caitlyn Jenner teaching a defensive driving course after taking out 50 people on the PCH. This, my friends, is nothing but orchestrated political theater by the DNC to make Kamala Harris look like she's tough on immigration, but her record is the complete opposite. It is not feasible as a country to continue allowing millions of illegal migrants into the country. We are a country of immigrants, but we're also a country of laws. We have a system in place you have to go through. We can't have millions of gotaways coming through the border, and all of that rests on Kamala Harris's shoulders. So I'm not buying any of it. The tomfoolery, the buffoonery, Kamala, the best indicator of future behavior is past behavior, and you oversaw the worst immigration crisis in our country's history. And I'm not holding my breath, but I'm still waiting for Kamala Harris to acknowledge and show empathy to Laken Riley, her family, and the other families affected by the immigration crisis. Kamala Harris, she's more familiar with Don Julio than she is with hard work, and therein lies the problem. Kamala, she got a big break in 2020 being tapped as VP. She didn't even make it to the Iowa caucus. She was an abject failure, but she got to be VP. Now, she's been slotted in on July 21st again and didn't even have to run in a primary. I do not expect her to do any hard work if she becomes president, and that goes with the immigration crisis. All right, my friends, thanks for liking and following. Drop a comment. Tell me what you think about Kamala Harris going down to the border so close to the election after ignoring the crisis for years. I will see you on the next one. Bye.